Hello everyone, this is MP, this is Multi-Pro, and today we're going to talk about another Algebra 1 topic, and it is probability and odds. Again, another exciting topic for me, especially in my line of work. But today we have one and only one goal, and that is to find the probability and odds of an event. So today we're going to talk about some definitions and show you some examples and solve some problems today. And we will just go ahead and dive right on into this topic. So let's start with some definitions. Let's start with the definition of probability. Okay, this is the ratio of the number. I'm going to be writing a lot today with definitions. Of the number of favorable outcomes of an event to the total number of possible outcomes of the event. Okay, now let's talk about, before we get into that, let's show this mathematically. Okay, so we're going to say the probability of x, so the probability that x happens. This is basically, if we put this in mathematical terms, this is the number of favorable, if I can spell, favorable outcomes divided by the total number of possible outcomes. Okay? Or you can also do a ratio. You can have your little colon. Okay? So if we say that this is A over B, we say A to B. Okay? Let's talk about another definition, and that is sample space. Sample space. When you go to the grocery store and they offer you some samples, sometimes you want to take it, sometimes you don't. And sometimes you go to the grocery store and there's a lot of space, and sometimes there's not. But we're not talking about grocery stores here. This is the total number of possible outcomes. Wasn't that what we just said down here in the denominator? That's right. That is what we said. Okay, so let's look at an example. It's example time. Alright, we want to find the probability. My A's and O's are getting a little mixed up. Probability of rolling an odd number on a die. So do you remember when you were a kid and you played these board games and you had a die that you threw and it told you how many spaces you moved. Well, what numbers were on that die? We had 6 numbers, right? It was numbers 1 through 6. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if you had played Monopoly, you actually had 2 die. But we're going to pretend in this case that we only had, I guess that's called dice. In this case, we only have 1. Alright, so we want to know what is the probability of having an odd number. Alright, so let's find the odd numbers. We got, here's an odd, that's an even, here's an odd, we got the even, then we got another odd, then we got even. Alright, so it's 1, 2, 3. 3. What's the total number of possible outcomes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 out of 6. So this is simplified as 1 over 2. Or we could say 1 to 2 ratio. Okay? Alright, great job. Now let's talk about some more things here. Let's say if the probability of x equals 0, it is impossible for the event to occur. Wow. So, if there's absolutely no probability, the probability is 0, then it's not happening. It's not happening whatsoever. Alright, let's look at another one. If the probability of x equals 1, the event is certain to occur. Wow. Okay. So this is the opposite extreme of what we just said last time. If the probability is 1, then it is going to happen. You got a 100% chance of this happening. There's nothing else that can happen. This event has to occur then. Let's look at another one. If the probability of x is 1/2, the outcomes are equally likely to occur or not occur. So if the probability of something to happen is half the time, okay, then half the time it occurs. What happens the other half the time? It doesn't occur. Alright. Now these are for simple events. These things do not always happen this way in the scientific field. But for our purposes here today, this is what we are going to assume. Alright, let's look at another definition. Odds. These are the chance of an event happening. So let's say that you flip on the TV in the morning and you see that there's a 30% chance of rain today. And so there's a greater chance that it won't rain. What is the chance that it won't rain? Well, if I take 30% and put that in decimal form, that would be 0.3. And we have to add up to a total of 1. So 1 minus 0.3 is 0.7. And percentage form, 0.7 is 70%. So it's a 70% chance it will not rain, but a 30% chance it will rain. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're looking at the odds of events occurring. So let's look at another example. And this example here is again with this die that you used when you played board games, minus Monopoly. Okay, whoop, we don't want to move the screen. We want to find the odds of rolling a number greater, that's not greater, greater than 4 on a die. Alright, let's look at our sample space here. What can we roll? We can roll 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or 6. So if we look at a number line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have to be greater than 4. Okay, so how many numbers are greater than 4? Here's one, and here's one. So that's 2. Let's write this out, actually. We can do better, right? So what we're looking for is the probability that x is greater than 4. Alright, so we found 2 out of 6 possibilities, which is 1 out of every 3. Or we can write it as 1 to 3 ratio. Okay, so now let's say we want to know the odds against this event. What does that mean? So the odds against an event occurring, we forgot to see, are not art, thou art, are the odds that event will not occur. Okay, so when we're looking for the odds against an event occurring, that's the odds that the event will not occur. Okay, so let's take a look here. We want when the probability of x is less than or equal to 4, right? Because before we did greater than 4, so this leaves all the other options. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So then that's 4 out of 6, which equals 2 out of 3, which could be 2 to 3. Now let's look at this another way of doing this. We could take this information up here and find the answer. So if there's only 2 ways that this can occur, either greater than or less than or equal to 4, then what we could do is that the probability of x less than or equal to 4 would be equal to the probability of x greater than 4. Oh, sorry. I've got out of order here. Of 1 minus the probability of x greater than 4. So we could do 1 minus, what was that? 1/3. That equals 2/3. Or we could say 2 to 3. And that's saying the same thing here. Okay. Let's keep moving forward here. Let's do a problem solving here. We want to know what is the probability that a number chosen at random from a domain, and this domain here, minus 40. That was very bad drawing of numbers there. 40. We have minus 12. We have minus 7. We have minus 3. Minus 1. 0. 1. 3. 7. 12. And 40 will satisfy the inequality x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 7. Alright, now if there's any point during these videos you feel like I may be going way too fast, you're always welcome to pause and rewind and rewatch the video. That's perfectly normal. Don't feel bad about it at all. I did it plenty when I was doing studies and trying to figure out what on earth am I doing. Okay? Some things are just a little complicated, and that's okay. We're going to make it simple. And if you have any questions, you can always leave it in the comment field. Alright. So, we have the inequality x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 7. Let's say that we rewrite this with plus 3 on each side. So we have x is greater than or equal to 10. Okay? So we know that our sample space here is this whole domain. And how many numbers are there? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 numbers. Okay? And so what we need to do is find when x is greater than 10 up here. Fortunately, in this domain, we have numbers all in order, so we don't have to reorder the numbers. So negative 40 is not greater than or equal to 10. Any negative number is not greater than or equal to positive 10. 0 is not. 1 is not. 3 is not. 7 is not. 12 is greater than 10 or equal to. And 40 is also. So the probability of x greater than or equal to 10 is 2 out of 11 numbers. Or we can write this 2 to 11. Okay. Great job today. This is real exciting to me. Statistics, probability, a lot of these topics, I use them a lot in my field. So I really greatly appreciate you watching. If you like the video, please click like. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. And we really appreciate your support. And we want to thank everyone who has joined recently. We are now above 10 subscribers, which is awesome in my mind. I never thought we would reach this point, so I want to thank you for watching. Alright, this is MultiPro. We will see you all next time.